There we go. Seems like this camera works better than that one. All right, 158. You know the please excuse my dear Aunt Sally? You know the please excuse my dear Aunt Sally? Where if I give you this, you're supposed to do what's in parentheses first. You're supposed to do what's in parentheses first. Well, can I add this? X and -7? Can you combine that at all? No, right? Because they're not like terms. So what can we do with this then? Right. Multiply 2 times x and 2 times -7. When you have a parenthesis with a number outside like that, there's no sign in between. That means multiply. But you have to make sure you remember to do both. That's 2x. But then you also have to do 2 times this -7. What is 2 times -7? Right, good, yes, -14, right? -14, everybody agree with that? Well, today, and I think we've done that before, but today we're going to add an x out there, right? So you're still going to do the same thing. You can't combine those inside because they're not like terms. So you're going to move to the outside, and now you're going to multiply both of those by 2x. Well, what is x times x? I'm multiplying those x to the second power. And remember, we assume there's a 1 in front of that thing. So 2 times 1 is 2. X times x, he said, was x squared, right? Mason said x times x is x squared. Agree? And then you have to move over and do this 2x times the -7. What's 2 times -7? -14x. Yes? Does that make sense? Ooh. It's a rough crowd this morning. So how about if I have this then? -2x times, let's see, 4x squared. Now, inside parentheses again, it's adding and subtracting, it's combining. Can you combine those inside the parentheses? Say no, because they're not like terms, right? When you're adding and subtracting, those exponents have to be the same. I have an x squared, an x, and a no x. So you cannot combine those. So then we have to move to the outside, and we're going to take this thing and distribute. We're going to multiply it times everything in the parentheses. So times this one first. What's -2 times 4? -8. And here, be careful, x times x squared. Remember, it's like there's a 1 up there. If I multiply, now I'm multiplying x to the first times x to the second. What do I get? X to the third. Good. Now move over and do this times the next one. What's -2 times -3? +6. And then I have an x times another x. X times x is x. Yep. And then -2x times this 5. What's negative 2 times 5, Olivia? Very good. She is awake. And then what about the x's, Audra? How many?
Just one.
Just one. I interrupted you. Sorry about that. So there we go. Does that make sense? We've sort of done this before, but now we're throwing in an x out there or whatever letter. Anybody with questions so far? I promise I'll just do one more. Camden looks disappointed. I'm only going to do one more. 5x y squared. Ooh. 3x squared minus 4xy. And plus y squared. Can you combine anything inside there? They're not like terms, right? Right? They're not like terms. See, if this was not COVID, if it wasn't COVID, I like to get about this close to people, but I can't now. So lucky you, I would have been right in your face. I think he's gonna hurt me. Can I combine these inside? No, right? Because it's adding and subtracting. And adding and subtracting, they have to be the same exponents and the same values. Multiplying, it doesn't matter. So that's why when we move outside, we're going to distribute, we're going to multiply this. Just go a little at a time. What's 5 times 3? Here's an x. Remember, we assume it's x to the first, and here I have x to the second. How many does that give me altogether? X to the third. Here I have a y to the second, but there's no more y's to combine with, so I just have a y to the second, right? Now move over. Do this thing times the next one. What's 5 times negative 4? Negative 20. I have an x to the first and another x to the first. How many x's does that give me? 2. And then I have a y to the second and a y to the first, y to the second, y to the first. How many? 3. And then we have to move over and multiply this thing times the last one. Remember, we assume there's a 1 there? What's 5 times 1? And then I have an x to the first, but no more x's, so just x to the first, a y to the second, and another y to the second. How many y's altogether, everyone? That wasn't everyone. How many? 4. Oh, I think they're all sleeping. Does that make sense? Should I do about 12 more, or do you think you have it? Do you think you have it? Yeah? You want to see about 12 more? Yeah? For real?
No.
He does. Come on up here, I'll do some for you. Questions? Are there any questions? Does anyone have a question? So I'm on page 159. I'm on page 159. I'm on page 159. Look, I got a new purple. So I have 1 to 12 and 1 to 16. Got a nice big heart. Anybody have any questions there? I think they're ignoring me.